Hello, everybody, and welcome to This Week in Star Wars Unlimited, and I hope you had a fantastic weekend. It was a pretty light news week out of the folks at FFG, but of course, it is set for spoiler season, so we got some new leaders, new bases, and new units, so let's dive into that. On the leader side, we got Admiral Trench, who's a villain cunning 6-cost 4/5, whose card reads, action, discard a card that costs 3 or more from your hand. If you do, draw a card. And on his deployed side, it says, when deployed, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. And an opponent discards 2 of them, draw 1 of the remaining cards, and discard the other. And then next up, we got probably the leader of the week, or the card of the week really, is this leader, Dameron, who's a hero aggression, 5-cost 4/6 unit, or a 2/1 pilot. Now, his action reads, for 1 cost, flip this leader and attach him as an upgrade to a friendly vehicle unit without a pilot. And then on his deploy side, it says, action, 1 cost, attach this upgrade to a friendly vehicle unit without a pilot on it. Use this ability only once each round. So we're going to get into a little bit of spoilers here as some other cards come up, but this leader is going to be very good in set 4. And my bet is to probably overtake Sabine as the new, let's call it hero aggression command leader, but more on that in a minute. We also got a new rare base this week, Nabat Village. It's a 27-point cunning base, which reads, draw 3 more cards in your starting hand, and you can't take a mulligan. When the first action phase starts, put 3 cards from your hand on the bottom of your deck in any order. So basically, you're going to forego the mulligan to get a starting hand of 9 cards, and then basically the ones that you don't want shuffle into the bottom. We'll see how that plays out. Could be pretty interesting. Just the fact of getting 9 cards in your starting hand might be better than, drawing 6, maybe not getting everything you want or something, and then doing a mulligan. So if you know the math behind the odds on those card draws, let me know down below. But getting into the aspect cards, we're going to start with aggro. We've got Stay on Target, which is a 2-cost aggro event that reads, attack with a vehicle unit for this attack. It gets +2 and gains when this unit deals damage to a base. Draw a card. So just a nice little buff card draw, 2-cost action here. Next, we've got Black One, which is a hero aggression 2-cost 2/3 space unit. And it reads, while this unit is upgraded, it gets +1 attack or +1 power. And then on attack, if you control Dameron, and that's as a unit, an upgrade, or a leader, hint the upgrade from the pilot there, you may deal 1 damage to a unit. And again, we're going to get more into Black One and Poe here in a second. And finally, we got Cham Syndulla, aggression 4-cost 5/4 unit, and it reads, when played, if an opponent controls more resources than you, you may put the top card of your deck into play as a resource. Moving along to Vigilance cards, we've got Interceptor Ace, which is a villain vigilance 3-cost 2/3 unit or pilot, so the same cost regardless of how you deploy it, as well as its card is, they both provide grit. So again, whether you're using it as a ground unit or as a pilot, you're going to get grit. Next, we have the Ghost, or a new The Ghost, hero vigilance 5-cost 5/6 space unit. It says each other friendly Spectre unit gains this unit's keywords. And it says while this unit is upgraded, it gains Sentinel. Next up, we've got No Glory Only Results, which is a villain vigilance 5-cost event. This is probably the best of the vigilance cards this week. It says take control of a non-leader unit, then defeat it. And that's pretty powerful for a 5-cost. So you think at that price point maybe takes care of Vanquish, which was another 5-cost, removal spell or removal card. Finally, we've got Nebula Ignition. This is a vigilance aspect only, so hero or villain can play this. It's a 9-cost event. It says defeat each unit that isn't upgraded. Wow, okay, so kind of a board clear, minus for anything that is upgraded. That could be pretty nasty. I would need to think a little bit more on that card. For command cards, we got TIE Ambush Squadron. It's a villain command 4-cost 2/3 space unit with ambush, and it says when played and when defeated, create a TIE Fighter token. Next, we got a Phoenix Squadron A-Wing. It's a hero command 2-cost 3/2 space unit with no keywords, but I don't think Off the top of my head, Hero Command has a 2 cost 3/2. So this is just something that was just kind of missing from its arsenal. So this is a welcome addition. We got Wingman Victor 3 to accompany Wingman Victor 2 from last week. He's a villain command 3 cost 4/3 unit or 1 cost 1/1 pilot. And it reads, when played as a pilot, you may give an experience token to another unit. We got a Poe Dameron unit, Hero Command 4 cost 3/3 unit or a 2 cost 2/3 unit, which more than likely you're going to want to play as a unit because it says when played as a unit, create an X-Wing token. You may attach this unit as an upgrade to a friendly vehicle unit without a pilot on it. So you're going to get some multiple plays or multiple avenues with this Poe Dameron unit. And then finally, and this ties in to the stuff that I've been hinting at with Poe Dameron the leader and potentially 2 cost space units, and that is Eject, which is it's a command 2 cost event. So again, it can be played by hero or villainy. But what it says is detach a pilot upgrade, move it to the ground arena as a unit, and exhaust it, then draw a card. So why is this kind of so dirty or so nasty when it comes to leader Poe Dameron? So I thought I'd kind of put up on screen kind of what you might look to be doing, right? So turn 1, you've got 2 resources, you play black 1, or you play any other 2-drop, space unit. This was just kind of what I went with. On turn 2, now you've got 3 resources. You pop leader Poe for the 1 cost, you attach him to black 1, right? You then attack with black 1, and that would give you 2, 3, you're hitting for 5 damage on, a unit or probably to the base, but you still have 2 resources left. So the next thing you do, as long as you have an eject in your hand, you play eject, and then you eject, then you eject Poe Dameron from the black 1. You put him on the ground unit. Now you've got a 5 cost, what would have been a 5 cost 4/6 ground unit on the ground, readied and willing to go for turn 3. Basically, you're going to be popping him out a turn early and having him ready. And so I think this combination right here, amongst with adding some other stuff, you get heroic sacrifice or some just other cards in here, is just going to be a good way or a good mechanic to really push some damage with Poe Dameron. And the other thing is, you can do this multiple times, right? So if you lose your leader unit when he's on the ground at the 4/5, you then, following turn, you spin him as a 1 cost pilot, you put him back on a ship, and then you use eject again, you're going to be able to put him back down on the table. And that's kind of just a rinse, wash, and repeat mechanic that I just think is going to be really nasty. It's going to be really telling and really to see how the meta reacts to Poe Dameron as a leader. But finally, we'll get into the last of the true aspect cards. We've got cunning cards. We've got Invincible, which is a villain cunning 6 cost 6/6 space unit, which reads, if you control a unique separatist card, this unit costs 1 less to play. And then when you deploy a leader, you may return a non-leader unit that costs 3 or less to its owner's hand. So depending on what there might be a unit that you want to bounce back to your hand for another ambush or another attack, or, to take out like maybe a Bazine or something, or obviously you could just bounce something off your opponent's board. Next, we got Guerrilla Soldier, cunning 3 cost 2/3 unit. It says when played, deal 3 indirect damage to a player. If a base is damaged this way, ready this unit. This will be interesting to see. I'm just not real sure how this indirect damage mechanic that's introduced in Jump to Light Speed is going to play out. If it works pretty good, this card and other cards will probably be pretty good. If not, might not see much play again in the competitive space. Again, in Draft or Sealed, I can see it, but if you're looking for those top competitive meta decks, maybe. Again, it just depends on how this indirect damage or direct damage mechanic works out. And then finally, we've got Stolen AT Hauler. It's a cunning 3 cost 4/5 space unit, and it says when defeated, choose an opponent. For this phase, they may play this unit from its owner's discard pile for free. Interesting stat line here. 3 cost 4/5 is pretty decent. Not too sure about its defeated action, but time will tell on that. And then for some single aspects as well as some basic cards, We got Tie Dagger Vanguard, which is a villain 3-cost 2/2 space unit. It says when played, you may deal 2 damage to an existing damaged unit. So something's already got some hits on it. Next up, we got a Resistance X-Wing Hero 2-cost 2/2 space unit. And it says while this unit has a pilot on it, it gets +1/+1. We have a Sith Trooper Villain, which is a 3-cost 3/3 unit. It says on attack, this unit gets +1 for this attack for each damage unit the defending player controls. So you can get some buffs there. And probably a very interesting card is Swarming Vulture. It's a basic, so there's no color associated. It's a droid. It's a basic 2-cost, 2/2. And what it says here, it says a deck can have up to 15 copies of this card. It says this unit gets +1 for each other friendly Swarming Vulture droid. So if you're looking for, it's in the name, a swarm deck or swarming card, here's a 2-cost 2/2 that apparently that you can have 15 copies of it in your deck. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But that is all the cards that we got for this week. I thank you for watching. I did record a video with some Poe Dameron gameplay. It'll be linked probably up here in the corner. So go check that out if you want to see the Poe Dameron in action. But until next time, I hope you have a fantastic day.